What's going on, guys? Webster here, along with the lovely Ren with another Ren's Playtime Corner. Ren, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Just trying to survive out here in these streets.
Good. I look, especially it's a bit cooler now, but we've been baking in these streets lately.
Absolutely, man. I got
Especially,
10 times darker since the last time I seen you.
look, I'm darker myself. Been baking a lot, and luckily this up there they averted the strike. So because y'all had garbage piling up for a minute, and I know the heat didn't help.
Yeah, no. I
So
mean, I live right outside the city, thank God, but still, I still have family and friends that live in Philly, and I am from Philly. I'm a Philly native, so it's just been craziness all up in the city. Now they trying to raise the
yeah,
SEPTA transportation as well because Harrisburg won't give us funding for some reason. Even though we've been getting funding from the city of Harrisburg for decades, now all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's a luxury to ride SEPTA or something. Like
it's,
I don't get
and it's
it.
not just a Philly thing. If you understand, it's like it's more of a regional sort of thing, not just the city
Mm,
of Philadelphia, all outskirts as well. And yeah, when I saw that and I mentioned it, I commented like 21.5%. If they did that
yeah,
here in the DC area, oh my God, people would die. Like, you want to raise fares how much? Like,
no.
they've raised them, but it's been like 6%, maybe at the most
Right,
10%.
21 point whatever is crazy.
It
It's crazy.
is. And then they're cutting out
You
services too. So
yeah,
you're raising the fares, but then cutting out services. Like,
right.
none of this is a good deal for the people.
It's not. And they know that people, most majority of people that ride public transportation is poor.
Yeah,
So it's like if I could afford a car, wouldn't I get a car? So
exactly.
if I have to take public transportation, get to A to B, and now you telling me we gotta, and it's a shame. What everything that's going on in this country is literally a spit to American face right now because it's like
I
they
agree.
literally saying we can do whatever we want to do and
Hmm.
y'all just have to endure it. Wait, what? Like, so y'all trying to prove that none of us, our opinions, our voices, our votes matter? Is that what y'all trying to say? I
Right,
thought y'all was civil workers, which means you're supposed to work for me, but
right,
apparently we working for you.
right. Exactly.
So it's a lot of unfairness that's going on in this world. It's the world is going absolute batshit crazy. And this is why, you know, dating is also crazy as well. Who can you trust? Who can you believe? Who can you fall in love with and have that guard down and that comfort, to go with the world. While the world's crazy, your home should be your safe haven. And who can you share that safe haven space with?
Well,
So
I
yeah,
I don't disagree with you on that one. But speaking of relationships and not trusting people, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe.
yes.
If you don't know, what was a $50 million lawsuit that was brought against him by a young woman that he was intimate with, and
Mm-hmm.
OnlyFans creator. Again, take that information and use that to form your opinion as you will. I'm not espousing any sort of opinions on the fact she's OnlyFans, but that was her occupation at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, based on what was we said, what was disclosed, like it was very much consensual and kinky and all that stuff. However,
Mm-hmm.
in a court of public opinion, especially you
Right.
have this, and look, optics matter. You have this little petite young white girl and this old big black man.
Mm-hmm.
And again, while they may not be overt, there are connotations and opinions and viewpoints that are going to form based on the optics alone. Well, took them to court. They settled out of court. Again, it wasn't even a criminal case.
Right. She
Like,
just won
so
how many?
yeah,
She.
and this is, we've talked about this before, but I'll get
Mm-hmm.
to this part of my issue about it. A settled out of court, then he still got fired from ESPN. And I'm sitting there
Yeah.
thinking he was never charged with anything. And
Right.
this is what makes me mad. And mind you, he didn't use any discipline whatsoever in his relationship with that woman. Of
Mm-hmm.
course, as men, we're not thinking that things will be used out of context or framed a certain way. We're like, oh, like I got this little young thing. I'm rich. We doing. I'm not rich. I got a little young thing, but we doing whatever. We're having fun. She like it rough. Blah 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 blah. I take care of her. In that regard, we cool.
Right.
Turn around. He got this great deal with Eastman. Turn around, $50 million lawsuit,
No.
civil case, where the burden of proof is so much lower than a criminal case. And in my opinion, that was strategic because okay, it's about money. It comes off our money because in the time frame that they stated, I believe the statute of limitations was still in effect. So she
Mm-hmm.
could have took him to criminal court. I don't think that she really had a case in a criminal court,
No.
personally speaking. So
No.
this is my problem with the whole civil proceedings in that regard. It's the burden of proof is lower, and then it comes up all about money. She got a $20 million payday and then quit OnlyFans. Yeah, I quit OnlyFans too. Well, I'm not doing this anymore. I I was upset because Disney let him go.
Mm-hmm.
He was never charged with a crime.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he had poor decision making when it comes to where to place his dingaling.
Right.
But
Or
he
dick
was
placement. Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was
This.
never charged with a crime.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my biggest issue with all this. He was never charged with a crime. It came off. Look, I'm coming from this viewpoint as a man. It came off as a shakedown. And even what was disclosed, it didn't come off as he took advantage of her because I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're a woman and you can tell me I'm wrong and whatnot. But
Mm-hmm.
if the things that she said he did to her, you kept going back to engage with this
Absolutely.
person. I
Absolutely.
I don't comprehend that, even we talked about the
Well,
Diddy. So the same
right.
thing. Well, Cassie was a different example because Diddy controlled everything. And
But she
I'm not
also still loved him regardless. If Diddy could be a broke man today, and if they were still involved with each other sexually and emotionally, she would have put up with all the bullshit, regardless if he controlled empire or controlled the PlayStation controller. You
right.
know, women, we love hard. We love can be unconditionally when you got us there. So let's talk about the woman. My point of view. My point of view is not always everyone's point of view, but
Right.
my point of view on the Shannon Sharpe situation is simple as this. Um, Men, I'm just gonna keep it real. Y'all need better dick discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A woman can ruin your life in an instant if she truly wants to. Okay. You can't just treat women regardless of what she looks like, regardless what she do for work, regardless of anything. You can't just treat a woman disrespectfully and just expect her just to walk away and be like, yeah, thank you for treating me like shit, have a good day. No. Now whatever woman that you treat like shit that just walks away on an instant, that's a strong woman she can walk away from. But not every woman's going to just take abuse physically, emotionally, whatever in between. And from what we talked about previously, he was being an asshole to her. Like, just do what I say, type of thing. Like, get this dick, get it the way I like it, get the way you liked it, and do as I say. Yeah, but she also wanted more as well. She wanted, and they was in a relationship regardless of what the relationship status is. You fucked her for at least 2.5 years.
Yeah,
On a,
exactly.
so that's a relationship, regardless
Yes.
of how y'all want to perceive it. Now, that doesn't mean it was a committed relationship. That doesn't mean it was a monogamous relationship. And yes, they did have agreements to have sex. But even then, that's still a relationship because it was consistent basis type of
Mm-hmm.
situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I said before, she just wanted to pay out. And I said it
Mm-hmm.
before, he was going to pay her out. I already
Mm-hmm.
knew because it's all about perception. It doesn't matter what's the truth. It doesn't
Unfortunately.
matter. It doesn't matter what the truth was in between of the situation. It's about perception. That's why Disney let him go because it's like, oh, you doing too much drama. If you can get caught up into this bullshit, what else can you do further down the line? Disney all about their money and they all about their image, and
That's the end of the day.
being caught in some sort of love spiral, like drama conflict for Disney is not it, you know. So it's unfortunate that Shannon Sharpe had to get let go. But I said it before, he was gonna lose his job because Disney don't play. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter what the situation is. Disney is supposed to be a kid's image, right?
Right.
So even though Shannon Sharpe show was never kid oriented, so but still, it's all about perception and image. It doesn't matter what the truth is but it's all that matters is public opinion. You know, like you said, he went to court. He was not well. He they settled. She didn't take him to court to file any like sexual harassment or abuse or none of that because she just wanted her money. She wanted her revenge from being hurt out the situation because she thought she was in love with this man. She thought this man was her man, and find out she was one of many, and she wanted the attention, wanted his attention, and he's just like, just shut the fuck up and take the dick. And she didn't take that too kindly. So yeah, and y'all need better dick discipline. Y'all can't
I
just be out here treating women like shit and just expect them to walk away just because you think she deserves to be treated like shit because of her occupation or what she do for a living. Like, no, we are human. We bleed, we have feelings, we have emotions, regardless of what the situation and circumstance. Now Shannon Sharpe is too fucking old to not know better because he's 50 fucking years old. He should know better to be out here in these streets just playing with kids' fucking feelings, you know. But he wanted to gloat. I got me a white girl that's taking this dick any way I fucking want. Cool. If that's the case, at least treat her with respect then. If he would have just gave her the attention, treated her better, we she'd be fine. But you can't just be out here just doing anything with anybody and expect like it to be 100% all the time. We all agree to things that we think, yeah, well, I'm sure, why not? But down the line, anybody minds can change. And you got to protect yourself at the end of the day. So
See,
that's my
the only
opinion.
thing, the only thing I disagree with you with is that whole treat her with respect thing with the things that was said, and
Mm.
I didn't see it as he. I saw it as that's what she wanted.
Of
He,
course, you saw that way because you're a man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what I saw. I mean, I saw it. Okay, this is how she wanted, but also in the context of he was still paying for her lifestyle. He was still paying her. She willingly, even if she didn't, if it was like a disrespectful thing, how he treated her, just basically like his plaything. She accepted that because she continued to take money from him. She continued to entertain and go back to him. So as a man, I'm like, I'm treating you X, Y, Z. You keep coming back. You keep giving it up. You keep taking my money. That's the way you like to be treated. That's the way you enjoy to be treated by me. Again, it is that aspect of repeatable behavior. If you
Mm-hmm.
like something or you're okay with something, you're going to continue to do it. And that's why I didn't see it that way. Not because, oh, that's how she wanted to, but
I
he
hear what you're
continued.
saying. I hear everything that you're saying, and I understand that perspective. I get it. But women are like, some people are fragile, you know? She obviously had her feelings caught up into it. So just imagine, let's put this like a hypothetical. Maybe she eventually thought that, and it said in the report that she thought they was actually in a relationship. So if she thought they was in a relationship, she probably expected more high respect quality. But let me put this out there for everybody, right? You meet a person, you accept the person you meet. So they agreed to this just to be sexual. And further down the line, she probably expected more. But usually accept the person that you meet. If I say that this is what I want, this is what I need from the get go, this is who I am for the get go, believe me, Believe what I'm telling you. Don't assume, oh, I can change his mind down the line. I can change her mind down the line. No, especially not when we are grown fucking people.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is what I want. This is what I need. Can you accept it? Yes or no? It's that plain and simple. I tell people I need sex at least 3 times a week. Can you give me sex 3 times a week? And of course they say yes, and then they don't. So it's like, okay, I told you what it was from the get go. Now you trying to play games because now you feel like, oh, I have her, so she's just going to accept the bullshit. No, if somebody says me, if I meet you this way, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is what I need. Believe them. It's an old saying. I don't know. I don't can't remember the saying, but it's like believe what you see type of thing, and
Mm-hmm.
not just what you hear. You
Yeah,
know,
when somebody
like
shows you who they are, believe them.
yes, exactly. Like I can tell you everything you want to hear, but am I showing you
Mm-hmm.
that? No. So maybe believe more what you see than what you hear and what you want to believe to be the truth, and just believe the truth the way it is.
Right.
Okay. So she thought that was her man, that he would treat her better, that eventually they be in a more serious relationship. I mean, 2 years, I would probably think the same way. But it's just he just like, no, you just a eye candy and a piece of ass to me. So she got her feelings hurt by it. And then I also rumored to be told that she saw the sex tape. Well, it wasn't a tape, but she saw and heard what we all saw and heard of him
Mm-hmm.
having sex with somebody named Michelle. Now, last
Mm-hmm.
time I checked, her name isn't Michelle. So she probably was flabbergasted by that as well. You know, like, oh, you you fucking people, like so. Yes, she had the lawsuit just based off of her hurt feelings. It's not right, but
Yeah.
Shannon Sharpe also put himself in that situation. If you're going to be treating women just like you can't just treat people any kind of way and don't expect no repercussions from your actions. So yeah, I believe yes, she's wrong. Shannon Sharpe just paid for this girl whole lifestyle for the rest of her life if she's smart with the money, because that money can go away real quick if she's not smart with it.
Mm-hmm.
But he just funded this girl's whole lifestyle just based off of 2 years of sex. Y'all men have to have better dick discipline.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, and everything you said, I do agree with in that regard. Because one thing I was thinking earlier when you were talking, um, well, one of the things we always come back to in these conversations is communication,
Mm-hmm.
and that two people really should be communicate with each other so that people know where things are. However, I will say in personal experiences, there are times when you can tell somebody exactly what it is, how you feel, what you need, and they hear something totally different.
Right.
Because I've had this happen in my life where I've had a conversation that was very clear about, hey, this is what I need, this is what I want, blah, 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 blah. And when it's repeated back to me, I'm like, I did not say that. So
Right.
I say communication, but communication means you're actively listening to the other person to hear what they say and internalize and retain what they say. Not just you listening, you're hearing them. You have to listen and
Mm-hmm.
process and have a dialogue and conversation to make sure you guys are on the same page, or at least to understand where you are with things. And I think,
That's the key word,
yeah,
understand, because I
yes,
could tell you things and you don't understand what I'm saying to you as well. So that's
right.
how you interpret what I'm trying to say. But no, I said what I said.
Yeah. And some people live in their own, and again, I say these things from experience.
Mm,
Some people, and again, I've only dealt with women, they
mhm.
literally have their own perception of things and
Yeah.
situations based on what's good for them. And not saying all, but again, I've experienced this.
And men do the same way. Some
I'm not
people
saying they don't. I can
hmm
only speak on what I've
Right.
experienced.
Right.
Um, but people do that. So it can be very difficult at times. And who knows, even in this situation, maybe there was a conversation. Maybe
Mm,
because she was getting it so good, she got wrapped up in her feelings. And
Mm-hmm.
you talk about discipline and everything, and she thought he could have, again, I have no idea, he could have told her exactly what it is, exactly what he's doing, exactly what's wanted. And because she got wrapped up in her feelings, she went along with it and thought what she wanted to think. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm like, I hear everything, I see everything, but I'm not in that situation. I don't know. At the end of the day, this whole situation has screwed up the fact that this can actually happen. You can take somebody to court and say they did XYZ with no real proof.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You can take a man to court, say he sexually abused you with text messages. And we all know text messages can taken out of context. That's why, if you're in a relationship, never, ever have a serious conversation via text. Never lash out at your partner via text. Because trust me, things will be taken out of context and you'll be in a worse situation. But text message taken out of context because it's just words. You don't know the meaning behind the words. You don't know where they came from. You don't know what was going on between them two to really get the interpretation of it. The fact that that can happen is utterly screwed up to me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but it happened. He is now $20 million poorer. He
Yeah.
lost his big time job with ESPN.
Right.
And he he's learning his lesson the very hard way. Will he be okay?
Mhm.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He'll be all right.
He got
Because I
money.
think,
He got
yeah,
money.
but I think most people in general saw this as a cash grab, men and women,
It
honestly.
was.
Yeah.
It
And
was. Her feelings was hurt, so she wanted revenge,
right.
and the revenge was hitting his pockets. Yes, it was absolutely. So let's talk about, since you brought up the Diddy thing, let's explain the Diddy situation too. Listen, women put up with a lot of shit. When we in love with you, we will put up with a lot of the bullshit. Okay. Is it right? No, but it's like you have a hold on us, you have a string on us. All you gotta, I can break up with you today and you can call me in a week and be like, I'm sorry, babe. Let's work this out. Let's do this, let's do that. And I'm running right back towards you. If I love you enough to be like, yeah, let's give it another try. You know, women, we are emotional creatures, you know. We handle emotions differently than men. Men and women are both emotional. Y'all just
Mhm.
call it ego, but ego is also an emotion. Um, so yes, feelings and love can be tricky. It's never easy. You know, if everybody lived a fairy tale story, then we wouldn't have dating apps, right? We wouldn't have all these dramas on TV and Netflix. If love was easy and that simple, then everybody would be with somebody, you know.
Right.
But it's not. It's difficult. It's complicated, and it's a heartache and a headache at the same time. So for people to wonder why Cassie kept going back, because she simply just loved that man. It's just that simple.
I agree with you, but this is where I'll make that caveat. In this sort of proceeding, especially since again she filed a lawsuit.
Hmm.
And I always say the well, excuse me, it's two caveats. The caveat with Cassie in general is the power that Diddy had over her life. That's
Yeah.
something that most women in that situation are not going to deal with. But the power that he had over her life, I think that most people, rational people, could say she had no choice. Of course, she kept going back. She couldn't get away. Blah 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 blah. Because of the control he had over her life, both professionally and then as far as an intimate partner. But when you were listening, I didn't really listen like that, but you couldn't help but hear things when
Hmm.
you heard about the stories, when you heard about how, her actions made it seem like she was a willing participant in so
Hmm.
many things. And again, seem like a willing participant. Again, I didn't hear testimony. I just heard
I heard
reporting.
the
Based on,
testimony.
but
I
I'm
heard
saying
it.
based on the testimony, it is hard as a person, period. If she was a man or woman, it didn't matter. It is hard as a person to see you as a victim when
Hmm.
you are an active participant a victim in some aspects, of some things clearly. But when you're an
Right.
active participant in some of these things and your actions, you're setting them, you're making the initiative for to set up some of these things. It is very hard to see that individual as a victim. And I think that's where a lot of people sort of glommed onto because
Mhm.
oh, I saw some people say, well, if Diddy's being charged with these things, she should be charged too because she was right there with him. She was initiating, she was
Right.
doing it. I'm thinking, from I'm not a lawyer, but from a logistical standpoint, that's a valid argument. If she is saying
It
that
is.
she did these things and she set things up and she took the initiative and she
Right.
did things without him, why isn't she being charged? Well, obviously she probably got immunity, but I'm like,
Or
why
being
isn't
part
she
of the
being
blame
charged?
as well,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And
Mm-hmm.
that was, I think, I don't know if I really had like I had that viewpoint because I didn't care either way. But when you really think about it, you ask these questions like, why is it? Like, I don't really see her as that much. Like, I can see people not seeing her as much of a victim because of
Mm-hmm.
that. And I think like that situation obviously is a bit different from Shannon Sharpe because this young woman, um, well, again, I don't know if anybody really saw Cassie as a money, like trying to money grab.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also she went back to Diddy while she's with her husband. I was like, I look, when I heard that, I felt horrible for that man. If
He.
he didn't know. Look, I don't know what they know, but
Mm.
still, I was like, that's like you dirty. You are
Yeah.
straight up
Diddy had a
dirty.
hold on her. Diddy literally had a hold on her. I mean, he met her when she was 17.
Yeah.
So like that, I mean, that's a lot of influence that he had on her.
But
You
not
know,
even that. I'll say this, and this is something I've heard, and I don't know if you disagree or agree, but you like that young, I really think like in we know it was happening unprotected. Okay. I really honestly think, when you go down that road with somebody, like a part of them is with you, like
hmm
forever. And the fact that she started so young with him, like he, in many respects, molded her. And
hmm
I'm not saying like he conditioned her, but like that's your intimate partner for a
right,
decade. You
mm,
can't help but become used to them, to like they're
no,
part of you in so many ways, physically and spiritually. So I look, that was dirty, but I totally get
yeah,
what you're saying in that regard. Like I get that. Like like that's what that's what in some respects your body yearns for. Like you miss that touch, you miss how that person feels, because that was all you knew. Well, clearly not all she knew, but that was primarily what she knew for almost half her life,
right.
or at least well, she's in her 30s now, for a third of her life.
She's in her 30s, yeah. I
Yeah, so
mean,
for a
yes.
third of her life, yeah.
And it's even rumored that and like I said, love is complicated, love is crazy. It's never that simple. But yeah, for my opinion on it, with the Cassidy and Diddy situation, by the court wise, no, she wasn't innocent. She admitted that she did these things for her pleasure and for his pleasure.
Right.
She was a freak. All right. She liked it wild. She liked it different. She liked what she liked. Um, should she be charged with it? I mean, from the aspect of it, Diddy's not even getting charged on these alleged uh, situations of the sexual meaning. He's getting charged for just prostitution.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
admit that he
Transporting. Yeah.
yes, he admitted that he engaged with prostitutes, and from wherever stance it was is against the law. Um, which is crazy because the prostitutes got immunity. I think Cassidy got immunity.
Hmm.
So if she got immunity, then she cannot be charged for these situations. And yes, she put herself in these situations. Um, but we naive sometimes. We want to believe the love is there. We want to believe we can trust this person. We want to believe that we doing this to please this person. You know, we get like that. We get emotionally tied up. Now, I know a lot of people don't believe in zodiac signs, but Diddy's a Scorpio, okay? Diddy is a sexual beast. All right. That's why he has so many women. That's why he want to call himself Dr. Love or Mr. Love or Love or something, you know. So she loved her some love. She loved her some Diddy at some point. Um, but that's her past as well. Now she's married. She just had another child. She seems like she's living a quiet, low life.
A lot
So
richer life too.
yeah. So we all do crazy things when we in love. So I mean, yes, she's nowhere near innocent in the situation. She was a willing participant in the situation. Um, but I also don't want to demonize her for it as well.
No, yeah, I'm not demonizing her for it. I'm just,
Mhm.
my only questions come, he's being charged with these crimes. And obviously the bigger crimes they couldn't prove. But the
Mhm.
crimes that he was convicted of, she was a
Right.
participant in them. And
Right.
that is where I ask those questions. It is hard to see you as a victim in this circumstance when you were a willing participant in the crimes he's charged with and convicted of now. So that's where my questions come into play. And again, obviously she got immunity and anything, but as far as perception is concerned, like, oh,
Right.
and again, there's nothing wrong with being a freak. Look, all the stuff they did was amongst consenting adults, which is where I had a
Mhm.
bigger issue anyway. Like these are all consenting adults. Nobody
Mhm.
got hurt. Yes, for many of us, they were not entertained in some of the things that were reported on. But
Mhm.
that's us. Let those people be those people and enjoy themselves however frequently they want to, and
Yeah.
everybody's consenting, everybody leaves happy. What was the issue? And that's why me personally, I was like, if again, people choose their lifestyles. Is one
Right.
thing if somebody's being sex trafficked or something like that, that's horrible, that's disgusting, so on and so forth. But if someone chooses that, hey, I enjoy this, I am going to have people pay me to do these things with them. I get what I need from the situation. They get what they need from the situation. Everybody's happy. I have never understood the issue of why that is a priority to prosecute somebody for. Because look, and again, as long as there is no, you know, abuse as far as like a pimp or somebody controlling them, somebody trafficking somebody. And again, I'm talking about men and women because both men and women, are in sex work and selling themselves and this and that. I have never understood the priority or even the criminality of it when it comes to our society, especially how it is now. And the fact that that is what they ended up convicting him on, which again, he would, based on the law, yes, that he did do that and all that. But look, who gets hurt? For real. Who gets
Right.
hurt? That is literally the oldest profession in the world. And
Mhm.
again, when it's consenting adults and people understand what the deal is and nobody's kind of controlling or influence things or pushing people into things, I don't understand the issue. So that unto itself was like, dude, y'all just wasted taxpayer dollars because y'all can't improve the harder stuff, which again, I don't even understand Rico like that. When I got it explained though, it's like, how is what they're doing Rico? And then you think of all of the rating of the mansions and all of the stuff of the paperwork and the videotapes that
Right.
are brought out. It's just
Like
like,
really thought he was like a mafia dude. Like it was a whole
yeah,
corporation type of thing. Like, so what was all that? Honestly, I just think he pissed off the wrong person, and
well,
that's
you
what
know
I
why they
believe.
said all this happened.
I mean, he sued Ciroc or something.
Yeah, the the,
Um,
the company behind Ciroc, yeah.
yes, and he won that
I think he
lawsuit,
won,
and
yeah,
literally
yeah,
after that, all this RICO charge, prostitution, abuse, all this charges came literally right after that. He pissed off the wrong person.
yeah.
That's just
That's
all it is. I mean,
look,
not
I'm
saying
not
he's
as
innocent because he's not
right.
innocent in the situation. So, like, I believe in karma. Things always come back around when you do
Hmm.
things to people. So, but still, yeah, you can't. Again, you can't just be out here treating people any kind of way, regardless of what it is, and expect them to just take a like spit in somebody's face and just smile about it. No, if I'm not into you spitting in my face, the fuck is you spitting in my face for? You know,
Hmm.
You can't just be treating people any kind of way.
Yeah.
Like, what happened to respect? You
No, I
know?
agree. Yeah, I agree with you on that totally. And clearly, um, he pissed off the wrong people professionally and business wise. But one of the things I took away, even from hearing about people testify, there was nobody that was like outside of Cassie. Nobody was like, no one came across as if they felt disrespected, taken advantage of, mistreated of by him, at
Hmm.
least based on what I heard. So I found that to be very interesting. Again, Cassie's relationship with him was, totally different from everybody else. But
Right.
again, the way they painted him and the charges they brought, you would have
Hmm.
expected to hear more stories of this, like you said, sort of grandiose, you know, evil figure. And you didn't
Hmm.
hear that at all.
Right. They was prostitutes, like, to put it in layman's terms. So
Yeah.
they knew what it was. They knew their jobs and what they was there to do. So they literally did he call these people for sex? I
Hmm.
mean, he didn't call, or Cassidy technically called these people for sex. So they knew what they came there to do. There was no emotion involved. It was a sexual transaction,
Hmm.
and then they left. So when emotions start getting involved, that's when things can get more messy and muddy.
Right.
But they came there to do a job. They did the job and left. They didn't have to do anything else. But yeah, it's obviously Diddy does have issues, control issues,
Yeah. And drug
um,
issues.
and drug issues. We all seen that. We seen the video of her getting beat up. But to obviously the evidence was just simple as this. He ordered prostitutes, which is against the law. So I don't know. The statue is like he can be
And
even,
transporting across state lines as well.
and
So that
yes.
was, but again,
So
this is even that statute.
mhm.
It's not like they came unwillingly. Like you had consenting adults, like, yeah, I'm in New York, let's go to Jersey, sort of thing. Like the fact that
Yeah,
that's in this case a criminal offense. It's not like
mhm.
he was sex trafficking, so to speak.
Yeah,
Like you got consenting adults who like, oh, like you in Jersey, and I don't know where they went, but they went across state lines. So I'm assuming there was some Jersey, New York action, because I know how close everything is.
mhm.
I'm like the fact that again, it's against the law, but context should be everything
You can,
in this
if
case.
you looked up all the laws in your state, you can
Oh
realize
yeah,
you've been committing laws, like against the law stuff, every single day, and it's just ridiculous. Of course, it wasn't, to us. We know it wasn't no real sex trafficking. You just
right.
transport prostitute wherever the fuck you was. But of course, it's the court. The court sees what it sees and want what they want out of the situation. They wanted to embarrass Diddy. They wanted to diminish his character and humiliate him, and they
Hmm.
got what they wanted.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens there. It's just crazy. Uh,
His court hearing should be in September, October. So I'm sure
and
y'all
then they
be
won't
hearing.
give him bail. I'm like, really? Why are you not giving this man bail? Like it's because I heard what like not the most, but we're talking about like maybe 2 to 3 years jail time at the most. I don't know if that's correct, but from
It can
what I
be up to
remember,
10. It can be up to
it
10.
could be up to 10. Okay, yeah, but that's still that. First of all, that the fact that you get 10 years in like 10 years in jail for what he's convicted
I
of is
know,
just
right?
crazy.
It
To
is.
me. It's really crazy. Like really,
It is.
really 10 years in, like that's a sentence that doesn't warrant the crime. I don't care who
Right.
you are. Like that's ridiculous. They're drug dealers who have literally killed people by selling drugs to them. They don't get that much
Yeah.
time. So I mean, shoot, we hear about people actually killing people who don't get that much time.
That, right?
So
Yeah, I
it's
mean, I'm from what the judge just don't like Diddy. It's that simple. The judge like, no, you gonna stay where you at until you get your sentencing, which is crazy because honestly, I'm not saying in a good way, but he should at least be on probation. You know,
yeah
he just had his kids lost the mom, and now the dad. Like it, I just feel sorry for the kids. To be honest, fuck Diddy. I feel bad for the kids.
Yeah, that
You know,
is,
to grow up
that's
without
horrible.
the mom, and now possibly grow up without the father as well.
Mhm.
That's unfortunate. So the judge is like, well, no, we think you're a flight risk or something. It's something they said, like they think he's going to do something to
Let's be for
somebody.
real though.
Mm-hmm.
His crimes don't warrant him to leave.
Mm.
And that's what I don't get. Like, I hear that argument, but let's be realistic about it. What he was convicted of, I'm not saying he wouldn't get the max, because in this case, in the judge, opinion wise, he might throw the book at him just to make an example,
Mm.
because they mad because they ain't give him on the big charges. It's very possible. But let's
Probably,
be
yeah,
real
possibly.
though. Who is leaving on these charges and the possibility of, that's why I don't get, again, I'm not a legal person or anything like that, but I'm looking at optics. I'm looking, okay, prostitution, transferring prostitutes, maybe max 10 years, okay,
Right.
great. But then also time served. And I'm also thinking this, if the judge does give him the max, they definitely file an appeal.
Yeah, they
And
could.
you know, him leaving does not suit him. It does not bode well for him to
Yeah,
do
I
something so
mean,
stupid in this
they
circumstance.
right. They just scared that once he get out, he's gonna make some phone calls to some people and get revenge. That's just what they think is going to happen from what I'm hearing as why they say he's a flight risk because it's like, but it's like this dude, like it's prostitution,
Yeah,
and they was consenting prostitutes. He wasn't a
yeah,
pimp or something. So
exactly.
it's like he should at least be out on probation. At
Yeah,
least, I don't want to see this man being in jail for something like this. I will hope he repents his sins and learns his lesson. And again, with the discipline,
yes.
you just got to be careful. Anybody can ruin your life in any given moment, and
Well,
anything can be misconstrued and cause a whole lot of drama.
well, I'll say this in this regard, right? And
Mm,
you talk about that there is that status where you're in a position where you can literally have any woman that you want, theoretically speaking.
mm,
I can see as a man, like, you're not thinking that you have to have that discipline because you're at a position where every all these women want you, where you can
mm.
have your pick of the litter. Even with Diddy, um, because of his status and his parties, I am pretty sure that there were no shortage of women and people who wanted to engage in any kind of debaucherous act with him. Again, obviously there's some who didn't. Even with Shannon Sharpe, I am this is why also with the Shannon Sharpe situation, I have a hard time believing the story that was put out there, because he is a successful man, let alone black man. I can see that woman being all over him.
No, he
Um,
admitted that he came on to her. He
yes, but
admitted
she
to that.
didn't push him away. She did not
Hmm.
engage with him. And I'm pretty sure if she didn't know who he was, once she figured out who he was even more attractive.
Possibly.
So I'm just saying that I can see, and it's stupid that it does happen, but again, that ego gets in the way, your big head gets in the way. Well, both big heads in
Hmm.
these cases. Those aspects of, oh, I don't need to, or I don't have to be disciplined, is because I have ample resources, can go out the window. And that's men in general. I'm not even talking about just black men or Shannon or whatnot. It's even I look at, and I forget the baseball player name who won his suit because the chick tried to set him up. Like, again,
Hmm.
he didn't practice discipline, and he ended up having this $50 million lawsuit against him, I think it was. And again, she showed text messages that were edited and out of context,
Hmm.
and tried to say he took advantage of her and abused her and this and that. And they he didn't get the satisfaction of her being proven wrong, but I think the way they said they amicably settled as
Mm-hmm.
far as dismissed the case. So she didn't get any money. He was never convicted, and some other woman involved was she was, if I remember correctly, she was indicted on embezzlement or extortion in that whole situation. But he still lost his Major League Baseball career, which I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, because of the whole thing. I'm like, the woman got away scot free in this situation, scot free, no repercussions to her lying or faking it. Like she faked like him hitting her and the abuse, like she faked it all, no repercussions. This man lost his career
Mm-hmm.
over this, and these are the sort of things that as a man piss me off. And one of the things I was thinking earlier, like you are a come across as a very well thought, understanding, logical woman. Okay. However, you can get online today and say whatever you want about some man you used to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
totally smear his character, whether it's true or not. Well, in this
Mm-hmm.
case, I'm more so pointing at it not being true. Give enough details that people know of these things happen, and then add in the fantastic and the lie. And his that would stick with him. Just because you said that, just because you put it out there, just because you have mutuals and they're like, oh, I didn't know he'd do it, that will stick with that man. And he has no recourse to defend himself.
And the crazy thing is, I don't even have to show proof of it.
And that's
People
and that's
believe what they want to believe at the end of the day, regardless
well,
of what. I've been in a situation, a guy tried to say all this shit about me publicly, and people believed them until I got on
mhm,
and proved what the truth is.
right,
Even when you see the truth, people still believe them. It's
yeah,
still just a matter of whatever your opinion is on a person. Sometimes people don't even care about the truth. They just believe the lie, want to believe the lie. It's just ridiculous of how people's mindsets can just be so like warped based on whatever they want to believe to be true. I
mhm,
believe this man never cheated on me, but I'm showing you he cheated. Nah,
right,
he would never cheat on me. But I'm showing you he cheated though.
right,
And it's supposed to be like seeing is believing, but still, if the brain want to switch to like, that ain't true, that's fake and that's false, then fine. Let I believe in karma. Let life show you it's true. I don't have to
yeah,
show you shit. The world is everything comes around in circles at the end of the day. So yes, Shannon Sharpe gonna be fine though. He can
yeah,
make
he's
his
gonna be
own
fine.
podcast. If he really was passionate about this podcast stuff, he just need to be in a more raunchy. If he don't want to make him itself and be on another network, he needs a more raunchy network
Yeah.
because Disney just don't play that. It's a kids
Well,
friendly thing, and
yeah,
they just don't
Disney
want the
don't have the
drama.
podcast though. That was him on ESPN. So his podcast and stuff is fine. The question is, did he lose sponsors? I think he was on the DraftKings network. I don't think they
Mm-hmm.
would have dropped him, but I know he had other sponsors and whatnot. So I haven't read or seen anything. Again, I ain't keeping up with it like that. I just hear what I hear.
Right.
I'm not sure if they dropped him. And I am not also sure if anybody has say distanced themselves from him, that
Mm-hmm.
so they wouldn't go on the show and whatnot. So I don't think that has happened. So that's why I say, oh, he'll be all right. Now, it could be you may have people who don't want to go on because perception and everything. And you're right. Disney is Disney. Disney like we're not taking no chances. We're not
Mm-hmm.
having any bad press or anything like that. But it is what it is. But that's why you really need to be careful who you date and you really need to vet them. And one of the things um, that I am learning now after a major change in my life, and if you follow social media, you kind of know what I've been going through lately. Um, I was talking with a friend in the midst of all of the things happening, and it's a friend of mine who always relates to me about his dating horror stories from the dating apps.
Mm-hmm.
And we were having a conversation. And I was like, oh, I can get on a dating app. Like it's like, oh, okay. So I have. gotten on various dating apps, and let me tell you, it's weird.
Oh
It
yeah.
is. It is very weird. Not in the context of the people who I see. I'll get to that. But I have been pretty much with one person for almost 20 years.
Mm.
So we predate dating apps. So getting on there, and I always thought about it before, more so to do research. Like I see all these people doing things online. It's like I got on a dating app, and this is what I saw. I thought it'd be like good for like the website, something, but I never did it because one, I ain't trying to get myself in trouble. I ain't trying to die, even if it's for journalistic purposes. I wasn't trying to die,
Right.
but I did it, and let me tell you, we talk about presentation and how you
Mm-hmm.
present yourself, right? And I've seen this before as far as the men's side because in the past I'd seen like female friends and we talk about like they show me like what dudes how they present themselves on dating apps and I say what's wrong with them? What is absolutely wrong with them? But then I say I'm looking at the women and let me put it this way, ladies, don't put a picture of you and your kid on a dating app. First of all, why would you put your child on a dating app? You got kids, you say that, cool. I don't want to see your kid. And also, why would you put your kid on a dating app in your like look, we all got phones. We have plenty of pictures of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. There is no reason why you're putting a picture of you and your child, and then when your child's face isn't even covered with a smiley face, why are you doing that? I'm not looking for your child. I'm looking to see who you are. Okay.
Mm.
And I know some people like, well, we a package deal. Okay. And you will get swiped to the left.
Okay.
Because in this regard, I'm looking at this as and again, I am maybe I'm different. I'm like I was on there as like I'm interested, I'm exploring. It's different for me. I'm not looking for anybody in that regard. 'Cause I'm like, I got too many things going on for that. However, it's an interesting social experiment, me going on there and seeing this. And I was like, okay, one, why do you have your kid on there? That's one number one. Two, and this varies between the apps. Tinder is the worst. Um, Not knowing how to present yourself as a lady and a woman. And again, I've seen it on the early apps, at least Bumble and Hinge. But like it's like the worst. Like you don't want a man to try to hook up with you, but you're
Mm.
presenting yourself in a manner a man wants to hook up with you. It's like,
All right.
are you
Explain how she be presenting herself then.
well? Again, if you have breast and everything, it's kind of hard. But when you are purposely, again, you choose how to present yourself. You are purposely posting pictures that are sexual and tantalizing with the way that you pose and position yourself.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's one thing, like I've seen plenty of pictures and women who are thick, who are well endowed. There is not a I do not get an impression of, oh, you're sexualizing yourself, you're just thick. Like in the dress and the manner that you have on. Yeah, you're showing a little bit of cleavage. Yes, you know, you are thick in all the right places, but you're dressing and posing in a way where I would not construe that as you are trying to be sexual, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Arching your back over, purposely having your booty in the shots, or like purposely making sure that all you're cleaving, you're giving sort of a sexy look. Again, if you're trying to sell it, that's different. But I'm talking about quote unquote regular women. Okay. So
Mm.
we talk about this all the time. You get what you fish for
Okay.
in that regard. So I see that as a man, oh, you're fishing for something else. If that's not the case, then that's not the case. But as a man, that's what I see. And the third the third ick, to use a term that was popular, when I see somebody that has generous in their what they need, or I want to be spoiled, I'm like, you are not looking for a real relationship. You're looking
Okay.
for somebody to pay your bills. That's what I
Mm,
see. Because any real woman, and I say real woman, I'm gonna use that since we women always talk about real men, they ain't saying that.
mm,
I would
okay.
never hear, I could never imagine you saying, I need a man to be generous. I need a man to spoil me. I can see you
Okay.
saying, I want somebody who wants to be with me. And this is the thing that I think someone don't understand. If I'm with you, I want to spoil you. I'm not going to
Mm,
spoil you. I love you. I want to be with you. You're my world. Yes. Then I want to, oh, I want to take you here, or I want to do these nice things within my limits. Hell, I may go beyond my limits because this is how much I care about and love you. But that comes when you build a relationship and a connection with somebody. I don't see you, and just because you hot, I'm not going, oh, I'm gonna take you to Ruth Chris for the first date, or I'm gonna buy you a dozen roses and this what's gonna be 12 dozen roses, because dozen roses, at least this time of year, like the expectation of a man just opening up his wallets off the rip is, I was like, that's not attractive. That tells me you're not looking for something genuine. You're looking for
mm,
somebody to pay your bills. At least that's what I take from that, because if that's a priority of yours, that means you are prioritizing money in a relationship, and you receiving money in the relationship from that man, or in interaction, whatever it is. And I just say, and I was talking to a friend of mine the other day, and I was like, yeah, like this is really strange, and like this is what I get from it. Like that's the sort of vibe I get when I see that word there. Or what gets me is the ambitious part. I want a man with ambition, and that always burns me up, personally speaking, because I hear stories, and I'm sure you do, and like you don't want a lazy man, but when you hear stories about women talking about, especially in online spaces, the way they use the word to describe somebody, it's like, oh, I just need him always striving for more. I need him always trying to make more money. I need him always trying to, like, it's like a nonstop sort of thing. And I sit and I listen to these and I say, why can't a man be happy where he is? If he's at a point where his success does what it needs to do to take care of his family or provide, when is there ever enough? And for me, for me, when I see that word, I see no matter what you do or what you want, is never enough to satisfy them. Because when you're ambitious, there's never an end point. You're always going and striving for more. And I think we always, we want to do more. But when you hear, and I take it as, and a lot of it, not a young one, but I take it as when I hear it talked about on these talking head shows, it's always an aspect of, oh, he always has to be striving. He always has to be trying to achieve. He has to be like always working for that promotion. He always has to be doing, like, I got 3-4 businesses, so need to be ambitious like me. And like that's what I hear when I see that word. And I said, why can't a man just be happy, making, doing, like, he's happy in his life. He's happy
mm,
and content. I mean, and again, obviously, if he wants to take on a wife, if his lifestyle cannot afford that, like I tell people all the time. So when I met my wife, now full disclosure. So I was working a job that I loved and enjoyed. Um, Not too long out of grad school, I was only making like 32,000 a year. This is damn near 20 years ago, right? But I have a lot of expenses. I was paying for a room in Beltsville with a bunch of cats I went to high school with. Um, Again, not a big deal, right? But I met my wife, and it was never a aspect of, oh, I need to provide. But my wife made more money than me. She made about, I think at the time, maybe 13K more, right?
mm,
At the time was never an issue. So when we got together, it was not that, oh, I need to provide. It was, I need to be in a better position, because my job, while I love it, I need to be in a better position professionally, because what if something happens to my wife? what is there's a dip in her income. I need to be in positions to provide when she cannot be there,
Mm.
in that regard. So that's why I look, not so much, oh, I need to achieve because like I just need to be ambitious. Like, no, I'm going into a marriage while we are doing things like based on our finances and we're having a life together. As a man, I'm thinking I still need to provide in the best way that I can, and that meant I needed to move and transition from my current position to something a bit better. And
Mm.
by the time we were married, and mind you, my wife and I met and were married in less than a year. But
Okay.
by the time I got married, I had already had my new job and started when I got back from the honeymoon making uh, about $48,000, going from 32 to 48,
Okay.
and then was there a couple years. Then went to my position after that, going from 48 to 60 something,
Mm.
and then I have gone up since then, moving around over the past few years. But I say all that to say, there was a time period where 2008, 2009, my wife lost her job because of economic downturn. My salary got cut because of economic downturn. Cool. Started teaching, working 3 other jobs. While it wasn't always enough, I still had that mentality. So it wasn't about ambition. It was about, hey, I have a household and a wife to take care of.
Mm.
And again, not that she needed me to take care of her. That's just me as a man having that perspective. So I see that as like, that wasn't ambition. That is, I am responsible for this aspect of things. Even if I'm not paying all the bills, I'm still the
Mm.
man of the house. And my perspective, when I see ambitious, it's, oh, you got to, if you aren't trying to constantly achieve and make more money, then something's wrong. If you don't want to travel everywhere, because people ask me all the time, like, where you want to go to? I'm like, wherever. Like, there are places I like to go, but I don't need to do that. I don't like, it's not a burning desire for me. Even with my wife, and we were talking, and like, my wife was a travel bug. She had a travel business. For me, it's like, wherever we go is fine.
Mm.
In my opinion, like, it's wherever I go, it's a new experience. I don't have that burning desire, that ambition to travel the world. And I see it as that's not something you can ever quench. So no matter what you do as a man, it will never be enough. Again, my
Well,
perception.
let's how about we put it like this? What is it that you're looking for? Because these dating apps are just is what it is.
Oh, I'm not.
Majority of the time, these dating apps are just hookup apps at the end of the day.
I'm like I
So,
said.
what is
I'm
it
on
that
there.
you actually looking for?
Oh no, I was on there for experimentation, just because it's something. It's a aspect of this world that I knew nothing about. So
Okay,
I'm on for observation, um, and making connections. I'm not dating or trying to find a girlfriend or trying to find a hookup in that regard. It's
but as a man perspective, what would be your ideal
okay.
woman to date?
If
Because you
I
said you
was
met
looking
your
for,
wife and you was married to her less than a year. So you saw her, you
yeah,
knew that she was the one, and you locked it down. So what
yeah.
about her qualities is what you perceived? Looks and everything,
Well, I'll
looks,
say
job,
I
whatever.
I don't think that's a fair question because I'm not the same person I was when I was 28.
Okay.
So that's the thing. My who I am now, I think if I was looking to enter into a relationship and to get married again, and side note, my wife passed away a few months ago. So it's not like I didn't get a divorce or anything like that. So I am a widower. Sucks to say, but that's the reality of things. If I was looking for that, my first thing I look for is a woman who, one, isn't materialistic, um, who doesn't care about labels, brand names, how expensive something is, how expensive the restaurant is, because that's I'm not that dude. I am not that dude. I am like, you can have the best experiences walking in the park, you know, making a picnic basket. It's the one thing about dating, we've talked about this, is really getting to know each other is not how extravagant the date is. Finding common interests, but really, I want somebody who is looking for connection and values the connection, but also, it may sound to some misogynistic, somebody who understands how a man complements their life. And I'm not talking about what they bring as far as financially, a man, because a woman is going to understand what a man brings to their life, just like a man is going to understand what a woman brings to their lives. That's what I mean. I'm simple in many respects. I am, and you've known me, and we've talked for a while now. I'm good at talking and building relationships, and being honest with who I am with people. So if I was dating to find somebody new, I would want somebody who'd be very similar. Someone who's looking for genuine connection, and somebody who's honestly just wants to build on that connection. And that's the paramount thing that they are looking to work for in a relationship. The money, being generous. Like, look, if I'm into you, I'm going to be into you. So what I have and what I can do, I'm going to do. But if you are expecting, again, I use Ruth Chris as an example, of that sort of status symbol that you hear women talked about, as far as he took me here, took me there. I'm like, you. I hope you're happy going to Olive Garden. I hope you're happy, going to Red Lobster, or wherever, because it's about the time that you spend, not the money that you spend. And
Mm-hmm.
I would need a woman that would really understand and comprehend. And also, I need somebody who can, and let me say it this way, because women like the emotionally intelligent. What that means is you have an understanding of who you are as a person. You understand of your emotions and how you react to things, but also you're able, like we talked about before, to listen to your partner and to listen to what they have to say and what their emotions are, and don't just dismiss them because they don't align with what you think and what you feel. And what you feel isn't the end all be all of a
Mm-hmm.
situation. So if you are a person who, or a woman who, like, you don't have control of your emotions,
Mm-hmm.
you can't. I've always been able to put myself in other people's situations, even if I didn't like what they were doing. Like, oh, I get why you're upset. I understand. I don't agree with your actions. That's one thing I always used to say. I understand why people are upset. I don't agree with most people's actions. Because just because you're
Okay.
upset about something, just because you feel this way, does not mean your actions are positive or good. It doesn't mean your
Mm-hmm.
actions are right. That's the best way of putting it. So understanding there's a difference between your emotions and how you feel, and what actions you exhibit or do because of those emotions. And let me be frank with you. There are a lot of people, men and women, who don't comprehend that. And
Mm-hmm.
again, I've only been involved with women, so I can only speak on women. So I'm simple and basic. And the one thing though, and I was telling you about the dating apps that I don't like, and I'm already started deleting them because I don't like, as a man, the doom scrolling on the dating apps. Because I feel like you're like, you go on social media, you get the dopamine hit. I don't like getting a dopamine hit by seeing all these women. We talk
Okay.
about that illusion of choice. So you kind of get that illusion of choice when you really don't have it, all these options when you really don't have, but also, like, it's like, ooh, what does the next one look like? What does next, you like, is that little bit of excitement every single time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I personally don't like that, because it didn't make me feel good,
Okay.
in that aspect. So I was like, I'm really not feeling this. And I would say, of the three that I was on, Hinge was the best with regards to actually showing me women that I would find attractive and that could possibly be compatible.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Bumble, yeah, no. Same thing with Tinder is the worst. It's the
Mm-hmm.
absolute. I'm sitting like, how do you feed these people to me? It was so random, but Hinge was like, for me, in my experience, like, okay, if I was dating, like seriously dating and trying to get with someone, like in a new relationship, there were viable options just based on profiles, what I'm attracted to far as I'm like, okay, cool. But even then it's like, oh, damn, she thick as hell. Oh, damn, she fine. Oh gosh, she look good for 50. It's all this damn, like, and you get excited by going to the next one, like you like, and you're like, ooh, what does the next one look like? That sort of repetitive doom scrolling is not good for the brain
Mm-hmm.
and for your neurochemistry, in my opinion. Again, I'm not trying to get like old scientific, but like I felt the difference. Like I literally like because it was exciting and new for me because it's something I never done before. So like, oh yeah, cool. Click, click, click. Okay, swipe, click,
Well,
click.
like you said, you've been married for 20 years,
Yeah,
so
just about, yeah.
all this is new information to you,
Yeah.
exploring a dating
Yeah.
scene. Um, at most of these apps, like I said, are just hookup. Bumble definitely a hookup site. Tinder definitely a hookup site. I never heard or seen Hinge before, but it's good that they have more probably actually trying to get you to date someone and not just be on
Right.
there just like, so can I smash that one? Can I smash that one? Can I smash that?
Right.
Because again, like we had conversations before, men are just visual creatures. Any
Yeah.
slight thing can turn off a man mindset of you. It's weird how men think. It's weird how women think in men's perspective. But you know, um, it's just it's weird. The dating scene just weird. Like
Yeah.
somebody that's been out here, it's just weird. Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. You say you don't like me. Okay, so let me date somebody else. Well, how dare you date somebody else? The fuck, you a hoe? Like, wait a minute. I thought you said you didn't like me, but we've been dating for a year. Oh, now so you saying we dating? So it's like it's so much toxic energy out here. It's weird. It's like, listen, if you found someone that understands you, someone that accepts you for who you are and what you're doing, just hold on to them. Of course, the
Yes.
grass is always going to be greener on the other side. It's always going to be somebody with a bigger back than yours. It's always going to be somebody with bigger boobs than yours. It's going to be a man out there with a bigger dick than yours. It's going to be other people out here. People ain't going nowhere. But what's the value is
Right.
what y'all need to just focus on, not for the ego status. What's the value status? And that's
Exactly.
hard. That's hard for to say to people because people look for the ego, especially because of social media. They make everything look so glamorous and fabulous that you competing with people that you don't even freaking know. It's sad. It's unfortunate. That's why probably a lot of women nowadays do be out here half-ass naked because it's like, well, I want the attention that this girl's getting. It's not always going to be good attention, but they just want the attention, you know. And how men be out here flossing and think I got a car, I got this, I got that. Come on this side, everything that looks good isn't gold. You have to really just look for personality value out here.
Yeah.
It's
I agree.
just weird out here in general. So yeah.
Yep. Well, that's my dating exploits. Well, excuse me,
Hmm.
my dating app exploits, not dating exploits. That's a
Hmm.
whole different conversation. But yeah, it's weird out there. But again, like we said before, you need to really vet who you date and deal with as a man, as a woman too. But since we've been talking about Diddy and Shannon, I'm definitely focusing on the men and having discipline and understanding. Honestly, you cross the wrong woman, she could ruin your life tomorrow, and you have no recourse
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Right. So men, be nice to the next girl you trying to fuck. Okay.
Right. Well, not
Because you
even
never
that.
know.
And I'll say this, and I think I may have said this to you before. There are times as a man that you shouldn't go there. I don't care how tempting she is. I don't care how good you think the intercourse is going to be. That little angel on your shoulder is telling you it's not a good look. She's not somebody. She's not somebody you should go down on. She's not somebody you should have intercourse with. I've been there as a man. My pre-marriage days, there are plenty of times where I knew it was mine for the taking, but something told me this is not the person. You don't need to lay down with this person.
Mm.
Think with your big head and not your little head, because then you end up like Shannon.
Right.
So
Be careful, guys. If you and also to bring that up, it's like you seen the video of the Coldplay, the yes, that's
yes,
a big example of men not having dick discipline, okay, and losing things based off of not having dick discipline. Okay, they literally go. He went to the Coldplay concert. You knew he had money. I'm taking my mistress to the Coldplay concert and holding her and ways and this, that, and the third. And Coldplay don't know nothing. They just showing videos of people that they get caught and then they look guilty. Like you get caught and you look guilty. And he had to explain him and still try to blame Coldplay for it. Like, how you
yeah,
blaming
he's trying to
Coldplay?
sue him. Yeah, like how you trying to
Like,
sue them?
oh, nobody told you to bring your mistress, and you don't
Exactly.
go to like you never been to a concert before. They do that. They put the camera on the audience
Right.
sometimes. So why would anyway? So
He was
he
doing
had
dirt
to
and he got
resign.
caught. That's all it came down to.
He had to resign for that, which is
Yeah.
crazy because it's like I mean he was just getting a little something on the side.
Well,
I
that's the
don't know
same thing with
why.
Shannon. You brought
Yes,
negative attention to the company. You got to go.
exactly. So he was a CEO too. So you lost
Mhm.
millions of dollars over
Yeah,
coochie.
he lost
Y'all,
money. Yep. Yep.
y'all got to be careful. Women can ruin your life in an instant. Okay, be kind to the people that you with. Okay, that's
Right.
all I'm saying. Y'all, we got to learn how to be nicer to each other because it's too much going on in the world right now. That's why I stay to myself most of the time. I don't need no extra. It's already extra
Right.
going on.
Right.
So
Right. Well, on that note, look, I hope you guys listened to what we had to say. If not, tell us your crazy stories because we love to hear them because we ain't living their life.
listen,
But hey,
anybody can email or inbox us on
yeah,
Instagram, and
yeah,
if you got a crazy story you want us to talk about or have an opinion on,
yeah,
our inboxes are open 24
yeah,
7.
yep, 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 yep. Ladies don't get no ideas. But this has been another Ren's Playtime Corner. Ren, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can follow me on Instagram with silly_weaver. That's the main thing for people to follow. I'll be on Facebook too, but not as often. Just add me to Instagram.
Okay, thank you, Ren. You guys know where to find her, follow her, reach out. Um, Men don't slide in her DMs. I don't know. Do men slide in her DMs? Probably not. But again, Webster Solomon Fragrance. Thank you again for another episode. Remember, thank you for listening here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening here. Remember, stay safe out there and be blessed. And we catch you guys next time. We won't be so long next time. Again, a lot's going on with me the past couple months, so I'm getting back in the swing of things, so to speak.
Okay.
All right,
All right,
peace.
guys. See ya.